Nigerians is a financial expert, Samuel Showumi. Thank you for joining us on Panel.
Yeah, it's my pleasure to be here today.
All right, now, in a layman's term, what is recapitalization?
Well, it is a process of increasing the share capital base of banks that operate within the Nigerian banking system. So it takes different form. The banks can choose to, go through the window of right issue. They can do offer for subscription, and then there's also the window of private placement for them. You understand? So it is just about increasing their minimum capital base, and this is solely based on the equity capital base. Because the capital base of banks are divided into two. We have tier 1 capital and we have tier 2 capital. For tier 1 capital, you have the equity capital, you have the share premium account, and you also have the retained earning. But for the purpose of this current recapitalization, CBN is saying we are removing retaining earning from the tier 1 capital. So we're only focusing on increasing the equity capital for this particular exercise. So retained earning is not part of the minimum capital base for that.
Okay, now many are wondering, why is recapitalization based on those categories you just were talking about?
Well, I think the target of CBN this time around is to strengthen the financial asset of the banks.
Okay.
You understand? Because other being CBN allowed banks to factor in their retained earning. In all sincerity, it's not all the banks that we have issue with meeting up with 500 billion. Okay. Because if you look at some banks, they have well over 1 trillion naira in their retained earning. A bank like Zenith Bank and some other tier 1 banks like that. But for the purpose of, creating liquidity, and at the same time to entrench soundness in terms of their financial base, we are looking at their equity capital and the share premium account for this particular exercise.
Okay. Now, does this recapitalization have anything to do with the digital banks?
Oh, no. For the purpose of this exercise, the digital banks are not involved. The banks that are involved are the banks that have international banking license, the national banking license, the regional commercial banks, and we have the non-interest commercial bank as well, like Jais Bank, and also the regional banks. You understand? So those are, and the merchant banks as well. Those are the categories that are involved in this recapitalization. Yeah.
Now, for small and medium businesses, can recapitalization help their businesses grow?
Fantastic. One of the objectives of this recapitalization is for us to be able to have a sound financial system that will, create liquidity for Nigeria economy. One of the major roles that the banks play in an economy is financial intermediation. They are the ones that are supposed to provide access to small and medium scale businesses. So increasing their capital base will give them that buffer. Now they will have adequate resources for them to be able to lend to those sectors that requires financing for their business. And at the end of it all, it's going to lead to business expansion, GDP growth. Bearing in mind, we are targeting a $1 trillion economy by 2026 and maybe $3 trillion by 2030. So for us to get to that level, we need a very sound financial system. And that is why we say, come and recapitalize.
Okay, from the background that we heard that they have 24 months, windows period. Is this time frame enough for what the CBN is hoping to achieve with banks?
Definitely, because an average capital raise process may take like 6 months. If all required documentation are done on time, if financial advisor are appointed on time, you understand, it is very, very achievable. And depending on the method the banks want to use, if it is right issue you want to do, it means you are speaking to your existing shareholders. So that will not take you much longer time. You can easily arrive at a decision to go through that route. And once the shareholders either at an annual general meeting through a special resolution, or you organize an extra general meeting where they can pass those resolutions, then the whole process within 6 months to 7 months can be finalized.
Okay, so are you saying that customers' savings in banks are safeguarded by recapitalization?
Definitely. With recapitalization, you are going to buttress, you are going to buffer, you are going to strengthen the banks. So depositors' money definitely is at safe haven. So there's no cause for alarm. Depositors should not in any way panic because of this process. Rather, they should be happy that they are putting their money in a strong financial institution.
All right. Now, I want your last words to, encourage Nigerians, or rather advise Nigerians on, this recapitalization as it affects their personal economic growth.
Oh, fantastic. This recapitalization is going to provide, one, opportunity for investment for Nigerians. If you're an existing shareholder, you go back, your bank is coming out with right issue, this is the time to buy more, because doing right issue, definitely most of these banks are going to come to the market at a discount to the prevailing market price. If you are not yet playing in the capital market, it also provides an opportunity for you to come and play. A lot of banks are going to come out with public offer. This is the time. And if you are a block investor that is looking towards coming to play big in the financial sector, this is the time for you to come in. You can come in through private placement. And also, this is also the time for mergers and acquisition. For those banks that do not have capacity, 2 or 3 can come together. The synergy effect will definitely produce a stronger institution.
So the overall benefit goes to the nation's economic growth.
Definitely. Recapitalization can serve as a catalyst for shared prosperity. All and sundry are going to benefit. Okay. You can benefit as an investor, either as an existing investor or a potential investor. And for the government, the process of recapitalization, government is also going to make some money, because people will pay filing fees and all whatnot. You understand? So FIRS make money.
It's good all the way. Thank you, Samuel Shomi, for your thoughts on Panorama on this recapitalization.
It's my pleasure. It's always